Hey everybody. Last month I took a trip to Branson, and while I was there, I got to tour the History of Fishing Museum. I can't recommend this place enough. While I was there, I actually got to do an interview with their manager, Bill, and he toured me around the whole thing, showed me all the different items. They have tons of lures, they have tons of boat motors, they have tons of boats, and it's just a lot of history. And they provide me with drone footage, which will be after the interview. It takes you kind of around a tour of the entire museum. There are items from prehistoric times all the way to the 70s. I think there was a couple of 90s items as well. But as Bill says in the interview, he's getting new things all the time. While I was there, I also got to hold a Zane Grey rod that belonged to the author Zane Grey, which was really cool. It's super heavy, and yeah, to catch something with it, if you're not anchored down on a boat and stuff, you're going and you're gone. Like, you will sink to the bottom. This thing was huge. And then they also have the first bass boat ever, and you'll see pictures. I got to sit in it, and it really is the first one ever. It was made by a company called Skeeter, and literally the boat I was in is boat number one off the manufacturer's line. The owner of the museum has boats 1, 2, 3, and 5, I believe. And then something else really cool that I got to actually hold, and you'll see pictures of that, was an original Orvis reel. And it's actually signed by Charles Orvis, who founded the company, and I believe the date on it was like 1874. So really cool stuff. If you're in Branson, please, please, please swing by this museum. Even if you don't like fishing, the history of it and how many items they have, it's incredible. So like I said, first will be my interview with Bill, and there's some drone footage around the museum, and then different pictures I took while I was there and while Bill was giving me the tour. So like I said, can't recommend it enough. Hope you guys enjoy the video, and hope you guys go to the museum and enjoy it as well. Thank you for the opportunity to interview and find out about the museum and everything. Okay. So what's the story? How did this get started?
Okay, so this is all one man's collection, Carl White. He's been collecting for over 75 years. Him and his wife are both 85 years old, still going strong. He bought his first lure when he was 8 years old. He's still collecting. He still brings stuff in. They come here a few times a year. But anyway, he and 3 other guys started the National Fishing Lure Collectors Club right here at College of the Ozarks in 1976. There's now 3,000 members plus. And then he also did these books. Everything's in alphabetic order. What year they're made, what state they're made, and what they're worth. That's what all the collectors use. So we go all the way from prehistoric up to about 1970. There's way over 40,000 items now. I just got another 1,000 items last week. So, yeah, it happens all the time. Everybody goes, do you ever change these cases? Every day I'm in these cases. The neat thing about this, it's the most complete collection in the world. It's also in chronological order. Nobody has ever done this. It took us about 1.5 years, but it goes all the way through here. The dates are up on the top of the headers there.
Okay.
So, but we have a lot of the first items. We've got the first casting reel made in 1840, the George Snyder reel. That's valued at $100,000 now.
Oh, wow.
We have the first patented fishing lure over here.
Oh.
So this one right here. So this is the Riley Haskell minnow. George Snyder on the reel was a watchmaker. Riley Haskell was a gunsmith and a silversmith. So they all had the tools and the expertise to do that. So that lure, one of those just sold for $50,000 2 months ago. So, and it just keeps going. So a lot of stuff is not worth that much. The collectors want it perfect in the box. Boxes are hard to find sometimes. Sometimes boxes are worth more than what's in them. So yeah, it all started out, Carl is a botanist, chemist, and biologist by trade. He made all his money collecting pollen and growing mold and fungus for the allergy industry. If you take allergy medicine, it's probably got some of his stuff in it. They're 85 years old. They're in Edmond, Oklahoma. They have the laboratory there. They're still making stuff. So, kind of neat.
Yeah. What's your upbringing and background?
I grew up in St. Louis. I lived in Minnesota in the summers. My grandparents had a resort up there, so fishing stuff.
Yeah.
And then I went to College of the Ozarks in 1974. My wife ended up going there too. She graduated in 83, and that's when we got married. Then we moved to Tulsa for 35 years, and then moved back here to build this. So, and then we also, we all worked on the Oklahoma Aquarium, so my wife ran that for 5 years. And so, anyway, we're down here, we're retired now, we're down to 7 days a week.
Yeah.
My wife's a realtor, so.
Yeah, I need to go to Oklahoma again, because I've only been there once, and we were going through it on the way to Texas.
Yeah.
And stuff. This was years ago when I was younger and stuff, and all I remember was we stopped at the world's largest McDonald's.
Yeah, and that's right at Veneta, Oklahoma. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're from Tulsa, and that's a beautiful town.
Yeah. So I know you mentioned a couple of them, but what are some of the unique items that the museum has?
We have a lot of the first items. We also have the first bass boat, Skeeter number 1, 1948. And it's also the first boat with a live well. It's basically a wooden box you filled up with buckets of water.
Oh.
So anyway, Skeeter wants that really bad. Yamaha owns Skeeter now.
Oh.
So
okay.
that they would like to have that in their museum.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of neat stuff. We have some of the metal lures. One of them is $60,000. This one's $50,000. So that's what's neat. We have a lot of the first. Carl's still collecting. So he bought his first lure when he was 8 years old. We have that over there.
Oh.
We have the first Hedden frog. James Hedden himself carved that frog.
Oh, cool.
So there's only 6 of those. It's worth $100,000.
Goodness.
They even check the lead content of the paint because so many people are trying to copy it.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, we have a lot of stuff. The neat thing about this, we have most of the stuff there is. It's the most complete collection in the world. I also give a tour. What we enjoy is the stories. You know, Carl's already collected most of this stuff. I still get stuff in at least weekly, sometimes daily.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's better than what we have, so we change it out to what's better. So we're continuously improving this thing.
Yeah. I know you mentioned like an Orvis reel.
Yeah. So we have a Orvis reel that Charles Orvis himself actually signed the foot of it in 1874. The fly fisherman. I don't know if there's another one. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just found that in the box in the back.
Oh.
Yeah, so I called Carl. He goes, yeah, there's one back there that he signed. Sure enough, that's it. So, yeah.
So what's something that the visitors comment on or that they enjoy about this museum?
Well, it's just, if they come through the front door, they're going to like fish and stuff, or they won't come here.
Yeah.
And they like the stories. That's the main thing. Even the women, you know, they're like, oh, I'll go because I love my husband.
Yeah.
It's the stories.
Yeah.
So it's not just a bunch of stuff you just look at and leave. You know,
Yeah.
I give a tour. Sometimes people don't have time. I at least show them the good stuff.
Yeah.
We also have the first Zebco reel that started out as an anti-backlash reel. It was called the Lash Master, and we have that over there.
Huh.
Yeah. So he invented that thing. It didn't work.
No.
The second one was a failure. Third reel was Zebco reel. R.D. Hull, Hull. He invented that.
Yeah.
So what happened? Zebco is 0 Hour Bomb Company in Tulsa. They made fracking bombs for oil wells.
Interesting.
World War II had ended. They didn't need all that oil. The oil business had gone down and their patent was running out.
Mm-hmm.
They needed something to keep all those people busy.
Yeah.
So Mr. Hall showed them this idea he had for this reel. And we've got what the actual one looked like. It was a coffee can lid and like a hanger. Yeah, and a sewing spool. We have it up there.
Awesome.
But anyway, he showed them that idea and we said, we'll try it.
Yeah.
Well, now they've made millions and millions and millions of reels.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because I've used it, Zebco 33,
Yeah.
the run real combos. I've used that like my whole life.
It's still a great reel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how long does it take to go through the museum, or how long do people usually spend?
About an hour and a half to 2 hours. Some people spend here all day. You know, some people, it just depends on how much time they have. You know, they'll say, you've got 47 minutes, we got to go to a show or whatever. But most of the time it takes about an hour and a half to 2 hours.
And then what's the oldest piece and the newest piece?
Well, the oldest pieces, we start caveman stuff. We have flint hooks, bone hooks, we have Egyptian swords, and then we go all the way to the 70s. So the 70s is fairly new stuff. The most popular thing of the 70s was a storm wigglewort. That's the #1 lure on Table Rock Lake for the last 60 years, and it's called the Missouri mudbug or Missouri craw. But and then we got newer stuff, but it's in the back. It's not really time. What they call contemporary is under 50 years old. So we have it. We just don't have room to put it out.
Yeah. And then, do you or Carl have like an interesting fishing story or something?
Carl's got all kinds of interesting stories. The reel, for instance, took him 30 years to get that thing. The guy finally died. There's only 5 of them in the world. So they go up to New York to Lang Auction House to bid on it. Goes, Carl bid up to 30,000 and stopped. Beverly, his angel wife right here, she said, "What are you doing?" He goes, "I'm not paying 30 for that." She says, "I am." Put her sign up. She's got that teacher voice. It's like E.F. Hutton spoke. Everybody turned around and started laughing. She ended up paying another 1,000 for it. She ended up paying like 34,000, something like that. 15 minutes later, a guy from Japan came and offered her 50,000 for that. She goes to Carl, "Should I sell him my reel?" So kind of cute. Another cute one is that we have the first outboard motor made in 1900, the Waterman. They were driving and Beverly goes, "Look, there's a bunch of motors." Carl keeps driving. "Carl, there's a bunch of old motors there." Kept going. "If you don't turn around right now, you're going to be in trouble." He turned around and goes, "He's got motors all over the place." They just parked there. Little old man comes out. He's going to help. And Carl said, "We're interested in motors. We like motors." He goes, "Well, what kind are you looking for?" He goes, "You got any Watermans?" He goes, "Yeah, I got a few of those." He goes, and that's when they first got married. He goes, "That's a fine looking wife you got there. I'll trade her for one." And Carl says, "You've seen my wife's. Let me see the motors." They came home with the motor. She's still there though. So anyway, there's some cute ones. And then they had a Chevy 2, and he had a big, huge tackle box. It wouldn't fit in the back seat. They had to put the front seat all the way back and put that in there. She rode in the back seat 9 months pregnant to a fishing tournament, and Carl's still catching. Holy hell for that one.
So what's either your favorite item or your favorite thing about the museum?
Well, I just like that it's all in order. You know, it took us a year and a half to put this thing together. And then the stories, that's what I enjoy, because we almost have everything. You know, it's hard to stump us. But I like the metal lures here, that one there, and then there's another one in back. You know, the reel, it's just amazing. That was made by a watchmaker. He hand filed all those teeth on the gears and everything, but everybody goes, "It's so small." He made watches that kept time. So that's what interests me, you know, the talent they had back then. There were no TVs, no radios, no computers, no machines that could do that stuff.
They had to teach themselves and work with what they had.
They had files.
That's all the questions I have. Is there anything else that you wanted to add? Or?
No, just thank you for coming, and we'd be glad to have people. The tour takes about an hour and a half, and it's neat because I just keep getting more information. I like the old people because they've got the stories, you know, and then I try to give them to other people. And like today, just a guy was just here today. He goes, "I remember you telling me about the Zebco reel and everything," and I'm like, good. So he brought a friend. You know, so that's how it comes. It's more word of mouth. Because it's a specialty thing. But you come through the front door, I'll take care of it from there. We have a good time.
I know with me getting into fly fishing and fly tying and stuff, and a lot of the people in the organization are older than me and stuff. And the things that they've taught me, or they've talked about, this fly was used, back then, or this material, which is discontinued now, it was used for this, and so and I like it.
And you'll notice fishermen are always nice guys. They're especially the old guys. They're just really nice. They want to share what they have with you.
Well, I thank you for your time.
Okay, well, good to meet you. Thank you.